People are going to continue to trickle in, but that's a-okay. We're going to get started here. So welcome everyone to CMU Build Sprint Demo Day. Yeah, this is an incredible event. We already did one in the morning with some other founders. And yeah, really this is all about bringing together the next generation of the best CMU founders out there. So give you a little bit of context and background. Next slide. So CMU T&E Tech and Entrepreneurship is a community for alumni and students alike. And it was founded on this vision to cultivate a stronger sense of entrepreneurship amongst everyone in the CMU community, right? And we think that this really starts with building a strong community around founders. And that's what exactly brings us here today. If you're not in the Slack community, please join to stay updated about future events. So next slide. Oops, a little, yep. So yeah, what is this event today? Build Sprint was actually a 4-week program that we ran earlier this year for early CMU founders. We started this journey with about 20 CMU founders. We met every week and we discussed ongoing challenges and found ways to sort of accelerate each other's journeys. Our founders joined us from 3 time zones across the US, as well as India and Singapore. And they represent some of the best tech talent across multiple industries and really strong communities like YC and On Deck as well. And this event is really a celebration, of these CMU founders, and it's a way of letting the whole world know that they are here and they're building amazing companies. Next slide. So if you're interested about future cohorts, you're a founder right now and you're listening to this, please visit cmu.io/buildsprint. Today's agenda. So today is going to be split up into 2 blocks of demos. We're going to start right now with the opening remarks, and then we're going to jump right into the first block of demos. And then we're going to do a breakout session. So in these breakout sessions, we're going to open a room for every single founder that presented in the previous block. And you as an audience can go in and engage with the founders, interact with them, ask questions, leave some feedback. So yeah, that went really well in the morning session. So we're really looking forward to that. And then block 2, we're going to do it all over again. Except in the second breakout session, the judges are going to jump into a different Zoom call to do deliberations, and then we're going to announce awards and then close it all out. And each demo is 10 minutes total for each founder. It's about a 4-minute pitch with an optional recording video of the product and then judges Q&A. And yeah, we're really looking forward for you to make some noise, like support these founders. If you guys know how to use the Zoom like reaction feature, please like throw me a Zoom react right now. We want you to, engage in the chat as well and, ask questions that might come up. And today's judges are Yvonne and Alex. So Yvonne is the founder of Tango VC. It's a fund. And he was a previous founder of YesGraph, and he's done events with us in the past as well, 2 times YC. Alex is the co-founder of Divi Homes, which is a unicorn company that's post-Series D. So yeah, we're really excited to have these judges with us here today and looking forward to hearing the thoughts and feedback that they have for each company. And the prizes, so we're doing 4 categories of prizes, and this is where we're going to get you guys involved once again. We're doing best idea, best execution, best pitch, and a crowd favorite. So at the end here, we're going to share a link with everyone. So make sure you vote in that link and choose who you thought was the best pitch and best product overall. Sweet. One last thing, so giving feedback, like I said earlier, jumping into a breakout room is a great way to do that because you can do that directly with the founder. The breakout room sessions are a little bit short. So, the objective of that really should be to establish a follow-up, share your contact information. We'll be sending out materials after this as well to recap that will have the contact information for these founders. Another great way to do it is we're also going to be sharing Rhetoric links. So Rhetoric is a platform that we're using for recording these pitches, and you can actually go and leave feedback async. So after the event, if you want, you can leave your feedback there as well, in case you didn't have a chance to interact with the founders. So definitely take advantage of that if you think it's interesting. This is a screenshot of me looking at Neha's pitch and leaving a comment. You can see that it's like timestamped. It's like specific to the slide and whatever she's talking about during the pitch. So yeah, that's really cool. Cool. We're gonna get started with the first presentation. It's gonna be Maya with Brandbass.
Hi, my name is Maya, co-founder and CEO of Brandbass, a platform where brands can get on-demand social content from trusted ambassadors. I founded this company as my love for shopping for the latest and greatest trends evolved as I became a mom. That, coupled with my industry experience implementing e commerce solutions for big box retail, made me realize the next generation of commerce is social, where we find out about products from word of mouth, friends of friends, and shoppers are activated at the point of inspiration from social media. The problem today is there's too much of a race for popularity and viral celebrity, and brands just don't know where to start looking or how to engage the right creator for their objectives. Forget the follower count. Rather, we use AI driven video analysis to vet ambassadors for qualities such as their ability to exhibit salesmanship, their talent, and creativity. This allows for a new wave of gig workers hungry for promotional work rather than running after that TikTok celebrity or Instagram influencer. With our solution, brands can have an easy workflow to match with the right ambassador to control the content they need to boost sales. With our product, brands can meet creators to get short form video content done in days, if not within the hour. In a few easy steps, brands can get matched with the creator, approve their content, and publish to revenue channels to increase awareness and convert to sales. The output of our platform is social video that drives e commerce. To date, we have deployed the solution with retailers across the supply chain, from small businesses, Amazon and Shopify brands, and we're currently working on pilots with Fortune 500 companies. We are excited to be challenging the influencer marketing status quo with a social commerce playbook.
Awesome. And we don't have a product recording to show for this, right?
No.
All right, then let's just jump straight into Q&A. We got 5 minutes. I'm going to spotlight myself with a really obnoxious Zoom background when there's about 30 seconds left to signal that it's time to wrap up.
Sure.
How does pricing work?
Yeah, so our platform is driven on volume of gigs. So every gig is a piece of content, which is a social video. Social video, it's a short form, 1 minute video. This is $100. We book the revenue from the brand and then we pay out the creator. So at minimum, they get paid $25. So this is much better than minimum wage. So for every minute of their time, they have the potential to make this money.
As I mean, there's two sides to the pricing, right? There's whether the brands are getting an ROI and all this also relative to other things that these influencers can promote that they would like find this useful. I guess I'm a little surprised to hear a fixed price because I mean, if you ever bought customers, you know, if a channel is working, you want to scale that up as much as possible and you want it to be efficient. And so like that feedback is super important. And so maybe this is something in the future you want to do. I don't know if you want to talk about the pricing, making more dynamic. Because also like maybe $100 is not enough to clear to get the volume that you want if you did want to scale it up, right?
Yeah, so every piece of content is just a 60-second video. So say you want an unboxing or a shout out. So this is done by the everyday person. So they're not a celebrity and they're willing to, you know, I can get on, use my phone and do a shout out and make $25, right? It might not take me that long. So we're banking on kind of like the everyday person to be available on demand for brands who just need that unboxing. They need that shout out. They need a review. They need a demonstration. And so we connect that brand with that available creator and the brands just keep paying us $100. So that's a lot of gigs they could potentially book. And especially the bigger brands, they need a lot of content. They need 50 videos for TikTok tomorrow. A small business might just need a video. So the volume is what's going to drive the business.
How does the feedback loop work? So like, you know, a creator posts a video on there. How does like the brand know like if people are converting or interacting and driving revenue?
Great question. So our platform is about content. So forget the posting aspect. Brands just need content. They need diverse representation of everyday people to tell stories. If they need content for TikTok today, how are they going to do it? They can't just get their employees to do it. They need people in different locations, age groups, demographics, mothers, students. And so the content is king. Content is what drives the awareness. And it's not about who's famous or who's not. It's just they need really great, everyday, diverse faces and people to make content for them.
Can I try to recap and you tell me if this is correct? So the problem brands have is not on having content shared out in a place where they can get clicks and getting attention, paying for those attention and conversion and measurement, everything like that, but actually just generating the content is hard. And so if you just have a fixed price piece of content, then that would be good. And this is why the celebrity doesn't matter. Anybody can go and do this. Is that your view here?
Exactly. Content is what they need.
Interesting.
And so they're posting it, like the brand's posting on their own private, like their TikTok account or whatever.
Yes. So once they approve the content, then they own the rights to the content. So they could use it on microsites, on Shopify. They can use it on their Amazon pages where our brands are using them. Obviously not billboards, but on TikTok, on Instagram. So this is content they own that they can use to drive awareness and convert to sales.
Gotcha. What are like the size brands that you're targeting? Are these like the big ones we've heard of, or like super hyper local to like a city or a town?
So it's so great to that in our recent traction, we've been talking to Fortune 500 companies, and they need a lot of content. In fact, they're skeptical about having anyone post out because they have their own brand guidelines. Through our platform, they can give the everyday person strict brand guidelines, scripts that they can get hundreds of videos of people demonstrating various things. Even for a small business owner, he might be so busy to create his own content. So a great friendly face that can do him a lot. He has the content on demand to air that promotion, to air that ad. So across the board, it's just how much content do you need?
Awesome.
Cool.
Thanks, Maya. We're gonna move on here. So yeah, super obnoxious in background, like I promised. Next up is AK or Animalai with ChapterMe.
Hello everyone, I'm AK. I'm the CEO at ChapterMe. ChapterMe is the only AI tool out there that auto-creates chapters or table of contents for videos and podcasts. Meet Stephen, who runs a YouTube channel called Exponent, and for the past 2 years found it super difficult to increase his subscribers past 2,000. His video discovery and user engagement has been very low, and this is not helping him grow. Why? Because at this age of infobesity, it becomes impossible to consume the content you love as a user, and even more difficult for creators to cut through clutter and reach their target audience. In 2020, YouTube introduced chapters, an easy way for viewers to discover and engage with YouTube videos. Google announced that it would use chapters to help content to be featured at top of search results. Creators like Stephen started manually adding chapters to their videos and soon found that the content discovery increased by 60% and user engagement by 65% on those with chapters. But the problem is that they were using tools like Notepad, which was not meant for creating chapters. It was so inefficient and time consuming. They even tried delegating, but it was super expensive. That's where ChapterMe comes in. It's a superhuman for indexing videos and podcasts. We are not just a chapter creation tool. We are here to help our customers get the most out of the content. To achieve this, we have built a suite of tools to make it easier for the content to be shared, discovered, and made engaging. We currently have 13 paying customers, and 11 of them were acquired in the last 30 days. The growth has all been organic through word of mouth without spending a dollar on marketing. We have had 100% retention from day one. Our users love us. They are able to reach and engage more users at scale without spending hours of time on creating chapters. Our early adopters, including Y Combinator and Exponent, have seen a growth of 100K subscribers in less than 6 months. Q1 was all about building tools for creators and making it easier for them to create chapters. We will soon start focusing on building tools for enterprise in the LMS space. Eventually, we would want to get into the social platform space to auto-create short and engaging content that gets our customers better reach and higher conversions. We started with creators and have been successful in getting our early adopters through cold reach out. We will also be launching a referral program soon, with creators to grow virally through word of mouth. As we expand to enterprise, we will initially focus on outbound sales and then slowly move towards inbound through content marketing. We are 5 times faster and cheaper than our competitors. We create chapters in minutes and not hours. We work across all platforms such as YouTube, Zoom, Spotify, and others, helping capture the maximum market share and becoming the leader in this space. We're targeting a $300 billion opportunity that's exponentially growing after the pandemic. As a team, we have previously built products, scaled it to millions of customers, and have worked at multiple fast growing startups, including a YC company. We are raising 500K pre-seed to allow us to supercharge our growth to 2,000 customers in the next 2 years. We want to use the money to make our first key hiring on the engineering and sales front, iterate to product market fit, and launch our enterprise learning platform. Our 5-year goal is to grow to over 1 million customers, generating more than 500 million in annual recurring revenue. So to recap, ChapterMe is the first AI-powered chaptering tool for videos and podcasts. This really works. Our customers have increased their content discovery by 60% and user engagement by 65%. This helped us grow to 11 paying customers in the last 30 days without spending any marketing dollar. So to anyone listening, let's organize all the video and audio content in the world together at scale and make it easily discoverable and engaging. Please watch the following demo to get a better sense of how ChapterMe works. Thank you. Hey there, here is a quick demo of ChapterMe. First, sign up or sign in, then paste the video URL, press the AI button to start generating chapters. It takes about 5 minutes to create chapters for an hour-long video. Once chapters are generated, you can edit chapters using our superhuman-like tool in 5 to 10 minutes using keyboard shortcuts. It's 10x faster than using Notepad or other tools that are not meant for creating chapters. Once done, save all changes, copy all chapters, and go to the video description on YouTube and paste it over there. Once you save, this is how the chapters look like on YouTube. Pretty neat. It's as simple as that. This is just tip of the iceberg. We have many features such as smart auto-suggested chapters, customizing your branded player, and embed on your website using iframe, auto trailers, and many more to help our customers get an average conversion lift of 10 to 25%. To learn more, visit ChapterMe.co. Thank you.
Awesome. We have a little less than 4 minutes for Q&A. Let's do it.
Is it possible to automate that interface so you can edit the descriptions like without needing to copy paste?
Yeah, I think we do automate for some of creators who give us access to the channel. So yeah, that's definitely possible.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many interesting things here. I've done a little bit of video, and you're solving a problem that is a huge pain in the ass because you have to like go back and listen to everything thinking about chapters. And yeah, so it's really cool. And you also mentioned a referral program. I would just highly recommend automatically putting the description in and then having a referral link, and then paid users can have that removed, but then they might not even want to remove it if it's getting them to use the service for free. Like it's a very clear product-based referral program that, especially because it's automated, it'll work well.
Exactly, and that's what we're doing for someone who's not like who's using a free or like a premium tier. We do provide them a way to remove and provide a white labeling. So yeah, it's definitely something we have.
I'm not as initiated in the video industry, but I'm curious, like, are people is it just YouTube or is there like a clear demand, sort of like a better video experience that's custom to the brand?
I think this is not just specific to YouTube. This is across like different platforms that you use, like even podcasts. Like nowadays, content has been like increasing in length and hours that people are producing content in. So this becomes crucial for them to kind of make a structured content out there and help people to kind of be easily discovered. So I think a lot of enterprise customers are looking to kind of make the training video more engaging by providing these chapters and table of contents. I think that's what we're seeing a lot of like growth. So yeah.
Is that most of your growth that you're seeing in, or is it a lot of like the organic sort of YouTubers?
Yeah, I think YouTubers are also, like, a lot of YouTubers are adopting this because this was released, this chattering feature on YouTube was released in early 2020. So it's a very new feature, and more creators are adopting this and using it on their videos. So that is a huge space for within YouTube even to grow.
There's a pet peeve of mine whenever somebody says, you know, $0 spent on marketing. My very first thought is, I wonder how fast you'd be growing if you actually tried, and not, oh, that's so efficient. Because usually how marketing works is that you have all these channels, you need to run some experiments and you dial up what's efficient or not. And if you just don't know, like, what do you, if it's 0, then you can't like turn up a dial, right? So it's like not good. And it's really cool that it could be organic, but also you have to index that on your number of customers. So it's like 13 people organically, and one of them is like an investor, right? So it's like you ask people that you know, and so that can't dial up in the same way. Just to reflect like a pet peeve of mine, I think founders say $0 and it sounds different than it's perceived.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, I think we are definitely like trying out different marketing techniques, and also I think the biggest driver for us has been like adding those links on the description of the video, and so that's giving us a lot of referrals. But we're also looking at other ways, kind of partnering with influencers and affiliate marketing to kind of grow. Yeah, so that's
Great. Thanks for the feedback. We're going to move on now. Thanks, AK, to Alex.
Thank you, Juan. And yeah, thank you, Alex.
Jisell.
Hi, I'm Alex, CEO and co-founder of Jisell. At Jisell, we're on a mission to strengthen human bonds through digital gift giving. The next time someone asks you, what's the best gift you've ever received? We want your answer to be Jisell. Gift cards have been the #1 most requested gift in the US for the past 15 years. But there's only 2 options when it comes to gift cards, and they're both horrible, to put it politely. Plastic gift cards are outdated and inconvenient, but yet 87% of gifters choose physical cards. Why? It's because consumers find e-gift cards impersonal and cold. And they're right. An email sent by the brand with instructions doesn't exactly scream, "I care about you." So they're not even an option for most gifters, making this today's gold standard of gifting, giving the recipient the burden of carrying around a bunch of plastic cards, the possibility of misplacing or losing them, having to remember to use them at checkout, and those are just some of the most common complaints we've heard. Not to mention the fact that gift cards generate 75 million pounds of plastic waste in the US alone every single year. Welcome to the 21st century of gift cards. Jisell allows gift givers to fully customize an augmented reality experience that makes sending a digital gift card the most thoughtful gift on the market. And we'll show you an example of this in our demo. Once your recipient receives the AR gift card, it will automatically be added to their Jisell e-wallet, and they can add any other gift cards they currently own. Think of this part like Apple Pay for gift cards. And we'll monetize this through the benefits we offer gift card brands. The global gift card market is huge, and the US accounts for more than half of it and is growing at 9.7% annually. But because of those problems I mentioned earlier, $10 billion of the money spent on gift cards every year is never redeemed. Brands hate this. Not only are they missing out on revenue, each state has unclaimed property laws that dictate what must happen with unredeemed gift cards. And because of the physical nature of gift cards today, brands have no way of interacting with their cardholders or even knowing who they are. Jisell provides a platform where brands can incentivize and interact with their holders to drive redemption. We are patent pending and the only company leveraging AR to solve this problem. Our beachhead sender market is moms of college students. Not only do they give the most gift cards, they also have this newly distant relationship with someone very close to them. These moms need a digital solution that emulates human interaction. Our beachhead user market is the college students themselves. Not only does this group receive the most gift cards, they have a digital first mindset. They're comfortable using e-wallets in stores, sharing information with apps, and we're confident that they will respond very well to brand interaction. And as recent college grads ourselves, we know exactly how to reach this group and create a solution that will spread like wildfire on college campuses. This is our team. My co-founder Yunfan and I both have technical backgrounds and have worked at tech startups previously. Suhag is our industry advisor with more than 13 years experience working at Amazon as the director and general manager of their gift card program. Cheryl is our marketing and strategy advisor with experience as vice president of Bank of America and director at Hewlett Packard. The rest of our team has experience ranging from marketing to AR to app development. We are seeking assistance relative to funding, marketing, and/or B2B sales. Thank you so much. Here's a rough example of the experience, but also keep in mind that it will be fully customizable. You can add your dad's favorite football team, your best friend's golden retriever, you and your recipient's Bitmojis, etc. And now I'll walk you through our app that's currently available for download on the App Store. This release is limited to the gift card e-wallet functionality only. I'll show you an example of how this works by taking a physical Walmart gift card that I currently own and uploading it to the Jisell app. After inputting the store name, card number, and PIN, I now have a digital replica of my gift card and I can toss the physical card. Let's take a look at how this app actually works in store. I select gift card as my payment method, scanned the barcode on my Jisell app, and then enter the PIN number, and voila! So much easier than fumbling through my wallet for plastic cards.
Sweet. 5 minutes for Q&A.
That was a lot, I know.
The AR lead-in is pretty cool, like to get you to download the app. Like there's a million different ways to send a gift. Like what are the other like interaction points of the AR? Like I saw a video in the corner. What can people add to make it a truly custom experience?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So because we're targeting as our beachhead market the moms of college students, one thing we think would be really interesting, and we're still doing user discovery to get those exact specifics of what our minimum requirements will be, but we're thinking like you could have the mascot of the university that they're attending, pop up on the screen. You can, if there's a big birthday cake, you can choose the numbers of the candles to go on the cake to represent the year that they're turning. You can integrate Bitmojis to have like your Bitmoji and their Bitmoji like hugging or like partying or like things like that. So there really is just like, it's limitless and nobody's doing it right now. So we think that there's a lot of really interesting things to explore.
And do you make money on the premium that you add to like selling like the AR experience?
No, so that's actually the great thing is that for the consumer, it's completely free. Like they will just pay the actual price of the gift card, but where we make money is from the gift card brands. So like I said, these states will actually, for any gift card that you haven't spent in the past 3 years or so, that brand actually has to pay the full value of that gift card to the state government for unclaimed property laws. So the fact that we're able to now, for the first time ever, universally connect gift card holders with the brands so they can encourage them to spend, we'll make a percentage of every time we're able to get somebody to spend a gift card.
It's really interesting. One thing I expected in the product, especially because you have AR stuff, is that if I had a physical gift card to onboard, I wouldn't have to like type a lot. I'm sure it's on your roadmap, but in terms of just like show the gift card to a camera and then it's inputted, it's a smoother product experience, right?
Yeah, Yunfan actually was working on that. Yunfan, do you want to talk about?
Yeah, sure. So right now we only have our iOS version of the app, and we are using the Apple library, the Vision library, to read all the text and numbers and let user to select the numbers, just highlight the number, and it will import it to the add card window.
Have you like pre-launch? You haven't launched just yet?
So we have our app out on the App Store, but it is only the e-wallet functionality. So you can't send a gift card to anybody, do the AR stuff yet, but any physical gift cards you currently have, you could put on our app, and then you never have to worry about carrying around your gift cards ever again and all that type of stuff.
And do you have some early adopters like just that functionality?
Yes, we do. But because it's, universal, we don't want to just like launch this out to everybody and start marketing immediately. So we're doing phased releases, and we've experienced really great traction with the groups we've released it to so far. But yeah, that's what we're working towards, how to create a product that is really stable, that when we get it out there, we would hate for something to happen where someone uploads a gift card, throws away their physical card, and then they have an issue when they're in the store. So.
what are some of like the biggest like gift card companies? I know like Starbucks is famous for having like equivalent of a bank like size of gift cards. What are some of like the other brands?
Yeah, so Starbucks makes 50% of all their revenue from their gift cards, which is crazy. And so that's like kind of exactly the problem we're looking to solve. If Starbucks has this fantastic app, which is why they do so great with their gift cards, but not every brand has a capacity to make that fantastic app. So we're looking at like, how can we enable that for universally for all brands? You know, a brand just has a partner with us. Now they can allow location services for the people using their gift cards. They can send special offers, all that type of stuff. So our target market for the brands is actually brands that do their in-house gift card processing. So Home Depot is one, Petco is one, so that we can get like great interaction with the actual results and analytics and those types of things.
And would they be able to buy the gift card through your app, or do they buy the gift card and then upload it through Jisell?
So yeah, so when somebody designs the AR experience and attaches a gift card, they would be able to attach any gift card, whether we are partnering with the brand or not. We would basically just be a distributor, kind of like when you go to the grocery store and see the rack of gift cards. But any gift card that's uploaded to our app, even if it wasn't purchased on our app, but you just have a physical gift card and want to digitize it, we would then be able to make that of value to the brand. So if you didn't buy it on Jisell, but you just uploaded it, now that brand is able to connect with you.
Gotcha.
Really like the idea of the brands connecting directly, because you know, it's just the easy yes to be like, would you like to hear about discounts? But it's not like some SMS bullshit. Like, you control the app experience so that you control the customer experience, create the most value, enterprise value for you. And it's going to end up being a better customer experience too, because I don't want to give my phone number and email to anybody. And so sequestering it in the app would be good.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Yirfan. We're going to move on now to Sean with Axomem.
For Sean's, we're going to start with a demo first.
Sounds good.
Digital twins are virtual replicas of real-world assets such as hospitals, offices, cities, and equipment. They combine recent advances in 3D rendering with real-time and historical data sources. We create digital twins like this. We helped one client create a digital twin of their 2,000-bed hospital. It's used to track COVID-19 and other diseases. Physical distance helps determine exposure risk to focus testing. Our digital twins help link physical and virtual realities, and in doing so, help our clients better understand and predict the world in which they operate. Hi everyone, I'm Sean from Axomem, and we're building a digital twin platform. Digital twins are fast becoming a key asset for enterprises. They provide deeper context for users to help them understand complex relationships, and they make the real world computable for AI algorithms. The problem is when teams are starting digital twin projects, they quickly run into barriers. Vendors sit behind get a quote buttons where the discussion quickly becomes, what's your budget? The projects then take weeks to start for approvals and then months for results. And at the end, they end up with high cloud and vendor lock-in issues. Our vision is for intelligent digital twins that allow teams to start now, iterate, and scale. We aim to provide transparent pricing where the owner has control of whether the twin sits on-premise, in the cloud, or both. We aim for our platform to be intelligent from front to back, and overall we're aiming to provide insightful, engaging experiences for our users. Our target market has high growth projections. Our TAM is 72 billion by 2028. The SAM we're targeting is 14 billion, or the lower 80% of projects. And the SOM we're targeting is 1.4 billion. We see the wildcards as being higher enterprise take-up, multiverse opportunities, and healthcare. Our Axoverse platform builds on the unique R&D we've already done. We allow twins to create, share, and build twins within hours. We have early metaverse support with VR, AR, and multi-user. We've got templates, for example, for hospitals, offices, and hotels, and others in development. We have a proprietary backend that allows us to scale from megabytes to terabytes very quickly. and we have full IP ownership of the stack from top to bottom. This allows us to provide low customer pricing due to our low unit costs. This just provides some glimpses of our product. Our user experiences interaction models are inspired by imagination from movies like Iron Man, Minority Report, and characters like Cortana from Halo. From a competition perspective, we aim to create innovators' dilemma for incumbents. Traditional players and emerging enterprise players, we see our opportunities as being low unit costs, good fidelity, AI support out of the box, and low dependencies. Other startups, we see our opportunity as being platform focus, scalability, and enterprise experience. We already have a paying Lighthouse customer as well as non-dilutive grants. Our Lighthouse customer was quoted over $1 million to build a twin for their site, and we were able to complete this for less than 100K, as well as the first proof of concepts within weeks. We've also received government grant support for building out VR, AR, and multiverse features, and we've got early interest from hospitals and partners such as consultancies. This is just a snapshot of a poster that one of our clients posted at ID Week 2021 that shows how they're using our platform to fight COVID-19 in their hospital. Our team has an enterprise IT background, but we also see automation as a key foundation to speed up development and keep our costs down. We're targeting a $1 billion valuation from a target SOM of 1.4 billion. Even a 10% of SOM gives an ARR of 140 million. Our go-to-market strategy is to enable direct enterprise take-up, as well as third-party channels such as studios, consultancies, and systems integrators. Overall, we see the opportunity as being enabling new ways to interact with reality. Whether you're a future team member or an investor, join us in the Axoverse. Click on the link or scan the QR code on the right. Thank you very much.
All right, let's do a 5-minute Q&A.
So Sean, this is interesting. So do you have like specific experience in like building digital twins? It's like a market that I'm not like super familiar with, but like, what's your background?
So my background's been in enterprise IT. Before starting the company, I built a virtual digital twin for a large car manufacturing company, visualizing all their servers and infrastructure across Asia Pacific. So that was part of the experience going in. But yeah, this is a pretty new industry as well. And so getting the Lighthouse customer was pretty key for us to then build out and work with them to understand their requirements and build basically what they're looking for.
And from like an enterprise model, who's usually the one like calling the order of like, we need a digital twin? And then who's like the consumer of that model? Like, is it like an analyst from the consumption part?
Yeah, primarily on the consumption part, it's more analysts, but we're trying to expand that. So for example, with a car company, it was starting with application teams, but then we're looking at expanding it into other users that had know what was going on in terms of a status perspective with their application. In this case, it was primarily the infectious disease for the hospital side. It was the infectious diseases team. They had a big issue with COVID-19 and tracking it across the hospital. They were using Excel. So they engaged us to start with that twin. The users initially are their ID Week team, but we're looking at also bed management use cases, which would actually expand across other parts of the hospital.
Just to comment on like the sales side of this, I think very often when you're looking for a vendor and you don't see a price, you're very frustrated by that. And so it's natural that you want to improve that. But if you're looking at this from like a revenue optimization perspective, there's a reason everyone gets to that selling point. And I can pretty much guarantee that you'll end up at that point, depending on the way this ends up working. If you have quoted somebody at 10%, your competitor, like, aren't you leaving $800,000 on the table, like on that one customer? Like you could still be cheaper, but then, how do you optimize that? And so just to say that, like, you don't have to have like the consumer mentality when you're pricing these things. I think pricing is generally really, really hard. So I don't want to imply like I'm some genius in it, but I do know that there's definitely a reason why people negotiate a price to try to optimize essentially the value that you create and then the revenue that you can extract.
I agree. And I guess in our early stage, when we're kind of the lower functionality, we're aiming at the lower 80% of the long tail. So we want to just make it really quick to get on board. But if you look at something like Atlassian, all their pricing is public. You can sign up at your team right now. But if you are then, if somebody comes to you from the IT team perspective and say, hey, we want to sign this up for the organization, yes, then you end up talking to an enterprise sales team because you want, you think your organization is special and you want specialized pricing. But we always want to make it easy for anybody in that particular organization to start, even like a Slack channel. Somebody can just go start one for their channel and start and scale from there. And because our unit costs are so low, we can do a freemium model for digital twins, which is just unheard of in the market at the moment.
I presume you'll end up with some kind of like analysis layer, like some kind of AI layer that you could host, which then that won't necessarily come with like high margin per se, high value. If you're generally like reselling hosting for that kind of tool. And so, just to say that like pricing and everything needs to fit what's there. I really like the idea in this kind of blue ocean where like this term digital twin just was recently coined. And so having pricing that reflects that so that like you can grab that, grab all the customers is a smart idea.
Yeah, so the hospital has actually asked us to build a digital twin for patients to do prediction for pressure injuries, and we're using that also with some grants to build that out. But yeah, then these will be premium add-ons to the base pricing.
And yeah, just because I think it's a good point. Like the artifact is like you have to experience the twin inside your hosted environment. It's not like you're passing over some model that then they consume. So you like own the whole experience of like, if you want to change pricing and add the premium model, you can. Is that how I'm understanding it?
Yes, it has to be hosted.
Cool.
You should explore open source, like last comment, like that lock-in. It's like a trade-off, right? Because like if you could easily extract, that sounds like people can leave easily. But if people think they can but won't, like then it's good. So hosting what is open might be the best way to go.
Okay, thanks guys.
Awesome, thanks Sean. We're gonna move on to the last presenter of the first block, which is Zach. And yeah, just very quickly, Sean is actually calling from Singapore, which is super cool. But it's 4:30 a.m. over there, so give him some love.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Zach, and I'm the founder of YarpBot, the ultimate live stream chat assistant. And to introduce y'all to what I mean and what we're all about, I first want to introduce y'all to my friend Spencer. Spencer, aka DangerFox at twitch.tv/DangerFox. He, like many people this day and era, is a live streamer. He's one of 7.57 million active live streamers on Twitch. In particular, he likes playing extremely difficult video games and tying them to the lights in his house. You can see right there, they're green right now, but I can assure you they're going to be red very soon. Now, I wanted to introduce y'all to Spencer's stream in order to introduce you to the two main parts of any live stream. Now, of course, you have the video. You have the part where the person's being entertaining, they're creating content, the thing you come to watch. But the real lifeblood of any live stream is the chat. It's that window through which people can interact with the streamer as well as talk amongst themselves that really creates that two-way dynamic that separates live streaming from any other type of entertainment medium. And y'all, I can speak from personal experience. Chat's a mess. There's so much going on here. There's people saying hi. There's people asking for your socials. There's people being jerks, people sharing memes. There's people asking really important stuff like, how do I give you money? And there's people asking stuff that's not important at all. How do you go and find all the important stuff from, well, everything else? If you're a small streamer, you got to deal with it yourself. There's no way around it. If you're a medium streamer, maybe you have a moderator or two to help you out with that. But every time they go looking to answer things, that takes time away from what they should be doing. And if you're a large streamer, there's just so many messages to deal with. Maybe you have some sort of automation. Maybe you have a bot that you can put in a manual command and answer a question, but that requires you to sit there and put in commands in order to do it. And it's 2022. I think we can do better than that. And the way we can do better than that is YarpBot. And how YarpBot works, ladies and gentlemen, is take a message like this. Yo, what's your Discord? Obviously, somebody's typed in that they want the link to your Discord because they want to join your community. And so that's a really important message to answer. Now, YarpBot actually sees every message going through a live stream chat. And it'll look at it and try to find the intent behind the message. So in this case, it's going to see the intent is the person wants that link to that Discord channel. And then it's able to answer that question automatically without any sort of human interaction. There was no need for anybody to type in a command or stop what they were doing. YarpBot handles all of it. And setup is super simple, y'all. Step 1, go to YarpBot.com. Step 2, configure your intents. There's over 50 of them that YarpBot can handle. And step 3, turn the thing on. That's it. You're done. That's all you got to do. And we are currently live, ladies and gentlemen, and things are going well. Currently, we're live in 210 channels, and over the past 30 days, we've answered 3,728 different queries. And I'm happy to report, ladies and gentlemen, people only got irately angry at the bot 47 times. That's victory for me, ladies and gentlemen. YarpBot is out there doing its job. It's making live streams lives easier, and they can get back to the more important things like dying in Dark Souls. I mean, I told y'all it was going to be red. I didn't want to be a liar. Now, ladies and gentlemen, right now we're at the process of collecting feedback, getting the word out, and letting people really play with YarpBot and tell us what they like and what they don't like. We're live on YarpBot.com, and we're always open to feedback at our Discord at discord.yarpbot.com or our Twitter at YarpBot. We also have a 24/7 stream at twitch.tv/YarpBot showing our status where you can interact with YarpBot and see how it works. We're also currently developing more intents and more features, including eventually premium features, such as specialized intents that we will charge nominal fee for. But ladies and gentlemen, that is all the time I have today. I want to thank y'all for listening, and thank you for your time.
We have a short product demo as well.
Enjoy a beverage. So, you want to know how YarpBot works? Well, allow me to show you. Step 1, go to YarpBot.com and click login using your Twitch account. Once you're logged in, all you got to do is configure YarpBot to the intents you want to use. So, for instance, if you wanted a response whenever you see a greeting, take your intent here, fill it in, make sure the settings are there, something like Howdy Build Sprint. Save your settings, make sure YarpBot's enabled, and then come over here to your channel and try it out. There you go. Done. Enjoy a beverage.
All right, 4-minute Q&A.
So I'm not a huge Twitch user, but I understand like the basics. There's the huge streamers that have like moderators, their chat's like on fire, they have bots, and then you have like really small streamers, maybe like streaming like 20. And then I imagine there's everything in between. Who on that spectrum is YarpBot for? Like which pain point is like the hardest, and like how big? Because I imagine the smaller ones aren't making any money, so it's like paying for a service might not be the best thing, and the big ones have people who do it for free.
Correct. And it's really while we can help all of those type of streamers, really those medium streamers in the middle of that area are our primary demographic, because they're just big enough where they're putting in time, investment, that kind of effort towards producing their product. This isn't just something they're doing once a week just for fun. But at the same time, they don't have a free volunteer workforce working for them. And if they have a moderator, they might have 1 or 2 people, and they're normally busy stopping people from being racist in the middle of chat or something like that. So they really just don't have the capacity to deal with all of these questions that need to be answered. So that is the best user for us.
And how much money do like those medium-sized streamers make? Like what?
So speaking from like kind of how it works on Twitch, for instance, you'll see reference to what's called an affiliate streamer, which is kind of a streamer that has kind of met the minimum to start generating money from money from subscriptions on Twitch. So how it'll work is somebody will subscribe to their channel for $5, and then they get half that, and Twitch gets half that. So you could see somebody making, if somebody has 10 subscribers, that's $25 a month they're bringing in before additional money like bits, which is a additional system for tipping people on Twitch and things like that. And yeah, so it can kind of range the gambit. I mean, you could have somebody making very, very little. You could have somebody making several hundred dollars a month, just depending on audience size and how infused they are.
Yeah, I'm mostly curious, like, are the people who aren't making money still want to pay for a premium service of YarpBot, or is it more the ones that just to make a better experience for their viewers?
For me personally, I still encourage that type of user. Granted, I understand that you're probably not going to get premium users for the people not making any sort of money whatsoever, but they are encouraging other people to use the product. They're encouraged, and it's just that part of, hey, I see this bot in this chat named YarpBot that's handling all of these answers for this guy. Let me click on it and learn more. And then they click on it, and that takes them to the Twitch page, and from the Twitch page they come to our website, and then that's how we can grow users.
I actually want to ask about that directly. Have you been able to measure that? So in terms of like the number of channels that are active, like what's the the different metrics you could track here, but generally if you were to have a user, how many more users might you expect in another month from that stream? Maybe it's indexed on size of the stream too.
Right. We don't have all of those metrics yet. Actually, a very large part of my build sprint was adding more metrics to YarpBot. As you saw there in the presentation, we're tracking how many users are with YarpBot. We can go at any time and see what streams are live with YarpBot. We actually have a feed in our Discord channel that anytime anyone goes live who has YarpBot in their channel, it sends out a notification to the community, knowing that they're live. So we're able to go in and see and check out what all they're doing, and they can look and see what intents are they utilizing. Are people talking about YarpBot? Are they driving in more traffic? So it's an area we're working on.
I presume you actually can learn quite a bit here. So if I'm typing in and my username is there, then eventually I'm the host with the same username. Or even if you can look into the profiles of the people that are in the chat to find out how many subscribers you have or stars or whatever the metric is on Twitch, you can find out even which customers you should be exploring into. I could definitely see a lot of like product-led growth, as it's called here, just to like embedded that cycle. But it's very much a measurement analytics thing. Like the way you would solve that problem is by like digging into what the users are actually doing and measuring what's effective. Maybe like a promotion to the right people. But there's definitely a lot of potential there.
All right, sweet. Thanks, Zach. That was the first block of presentations, part one. And now we're going to wrap up with a breakout session. We're going to open breakout rooms for all 5 of those founders in just a second. And in this main room, we're just going to play some music. You can also use this as a bathroom break if you want, because it's a pretty long running event. But otherwise, we really encourage you to go into these rooms, engage with the founders, and ask your questions. So yeah, we'll be back for the second round of pitches at 2:05 Pacific. See you soon. All right. Bringing everyone back here into the main room. Rachel, can you spotlight the judges again? Sweet. Awesome. Well, that concludes block 1. Now we're headed into block 2. We got a whole nother half of this show for you guys. Really exciting. And we're going to start with Deepthi with Syndee.
Hi, I'm Deepthi, founder of Syndee, where social commerce meets productivity to simplify lives for really busy families. Let me first introduce myself. I started my career as a developer, and after CMU, I pivoted into fundamental tech, more specifically NLP. My experience and expertise in the last 10 years has been in productivity and assistance. And when I say assistance, think Siri, Alexa. These are the kinds of products I worked on, and I have over 10 patents in the space. In my personal life, I got married, moved in with my husband, brought home a dog, and then we had a daughter, and just the number of things I've had to manage exploded. And that's really the impetus for Syndee, that with all my experience in expertise in productivity, if I don't build something intelligent for the modern household, no one will. I asked really successful professional women, such as my co founder Holly, how they did it. And they said, oh, they use tools like Google Calendar or post-its on the refrigerator to manage their household. And no wonder over 80% of parents are struggling with at least one symptom of burnout, and over 97% have said that they would use a new tool if it simplified their household. Every family knows that there are 8 days in a week. The eighth day, someday we'll clean out the garage, someday we'll eat healthy. While creators in the space are struggling with limited opportunity and even more limited income, struggling to be discovered by families they could actually help on platform not built for household or for productivity. Syndee is the first fully integrated, digitally native social experience to help busy families simplify their lives. Syndee enables families to discover new projects with inspiration and backs it up with fully customized plans to get things done. These plans created by both AI and our creators. The key insight is that families shop in the process of getting things done. So we provide a curated commerce experience as well as supportive parent circles and the smartest way to manage your family calendar, all to supercharge your home team. With backed by proprietary purposeful tech, the first of its kind household knowledge graph, my bread and butter. Our users basically love us. They said it was the best thing since sliced bread. Strong tailwinds actually support this disruption. A digitally native millennials are increasingly becoming parents, and they have over 1.3 trillion in spending power on households. Post-its on the refrigerator won't cut it anymore. B, parents are increasingly looking to other parents for input on their decision making. And finally, let's face it, COVID has changed the reality of home. Syndee plays in a huge, large parenting market, and we are here to reinvent the future of home to support the future of work. We are seeing strong momentum, uh, both with our user acquisition and creator and brand partnerships who are eager to sign up with Syndee to get off the Instagram content treadmill. Let's build the future of home. Let's build the Syndee life. So, finally, my ask, if you're a busy family, we'd love for you to give it a try, and I'd love your feedback. If we are currently raising our pre seed, and if you want to learn more, connect with me either on my email right here or LinkedIn, where I'm most active. Thank you so much for your time.
Creating magical moments for your family takes planning. Rachel and Chris have demanding careers and a busy household. Life is hard, Syndee isn't. Rachel doesn't have to start with a blank sheet of paper ever again. Whether it is home organization or maintenance, vehicle maintenance, childcare, celebrations, or side hustles, the Syndee community has a plan to get her started. Summer is here. Browse to see how to throw a pool party or how to get your home ready for the summer. By following neighbors, friends, and home celebrities, discover projects to level up your life and find a recipe to tackle the home boss goals. In a few simple clicks, Rachel went from where's the best place to start for spring cleaning to getting expert advice on what to do. And with the ability to share these tasks, the whole family can work together. In the future, Syndee will present curated lists of items to make that project a reality. The Syndee Hub is where you can view your family's priorities simply and easily. Be up to date with everyone's schedule using Syndee's Daily View. Work together with Syndee's collaboration tools and get things done. See the updates from households and creators you trust on the home page. All the efficiency, none of the hassle. Syndee, supercharge your home team.
Sweet. Let's do a 4-minute Q&A.
Hey there.
Hi. So this is interesting. I actually don't know about Alex. I have 3 kids and my, COO mom of a wife. And, we both do a lot in the house. And so I totally understand some of the needs here. I'm still a little confused about the experience because do people really search for how do I do spring cleaning? I understand I have a party, we were just in the scenario. It's do we have to get another fucking bouncy house? there's so many bouncy house parties. What are some other ideas we could have? And it's like a real example from my life. But like, I'd be surprised if people would search for some of these other things. And so I guess, how do you pick what topics go in there? Like, is that part of the curation? Like, listen to your customers.
So
like, tell me more about that experience.
In terms of what topics we feature, or like what?
Yeah.
So here's the thing, right? Like for me, I do most of the thinking in my household, and it's very typical across the board, and like most women do the thinking. So from figuring out that, oh, we want a spring clean, to making an actual, like doing the research of like, okay, what are all the things I should be cleaning about or thinking about, or home maintenance for the, for summer, like how do I get my home ready for the summer, right? Just thinking and like getting that to a point to figure out this is what it needs to get done. It's like easily a couple of 2 to 3 hours of work, right? And by the time my husband is not on the same page, and we are actually like creating an Asana. We used to use Asana before this, right? Like an Asana board, or whatever, like assign each other tasks, and he doesn't know what to do, whatever, right? So that is really the pain point. We're completely taking it away. And in terms of the content, right, we have over 300 plans already. We can easily onboard any topic in a matter of a week, because like I've like my AI, like the AI I've written, like kind of gets us to, like the content exists. It's not that it doesn't exist, right? Like there are tons of mommy bloggers out there. I'm speaking at a mommy blogger conference next week, right? Like there are tons of the knowledge exists. All we need, so our AI gets us like 60% of the way there, and then we have creators who kind of go in and like create this content. What we are completely eliminating is like this research phase, right? And the other thing that Syndee provides, which isn't in the demo, or is like short form videos that go along with each task. That really enables like first time things, like, okay, especially if you're a new parent or a new homeowner, that is where we are seeing a lot of the traction. So like there are so many first, like diaper change to first, filter change in the home. Like they're all things you probably haven't done before. So that's really where, like we want to intercept the users at that point, right? Much younger, like first home is where we are targeting.
Within the first home, like what are the common activities that people are looking for? Like what are the top 3?
Yeah, so the 2 most popular, so we have across 9 topics right now, and all picked based on like I can talk about how we picked those 9 topics, but the most to your answer, right, the 2 most important, like I'm sorry, my doctor is here. 2 most key categories. One is activities, kids activities, right? Like how do you set up for a toddler, whatever. But the other one is administration, home administration. How do you set up your filing system for minimal clutter? How do you set up your finances? How do you set up your those sort of things. But I think the 3rd most popular category is definitely home, like fall home maintenance was one of the most huge popular, and then now some spring, getting your home ready for summer and spring.
I can imagine a lot of other dimensions of this. I mean, you seem to have like a commerce side to it where you want to buy stuff, but actually vendors would be just as big, I can imagine, in terms of like who is somebody that can like clean my gutters reliably or do some maintenance on my home. Another dimension is like, other vendors like, I don't know, like a clown, like a petting zoo for a party, or a piano teacher. Like I can see this like wire cutter for moms. I could definitely see
exactly. We do have exactly right. That is the model that we first want to monetize on, is like wire cutter for moms. That's a good way to put it. We do have a lot of like my daughter's school has posted like getting back to back to school. This is what you get, this is what you do to get ready, right? Like with some videos from some of the moms. Same thing with real estate agents have been really interested in posting, specifically for a given home, or this is how you maintain your home, like as a value added benefit. There's been a lot of like, we've been experimenting. The goal really is to systematically experiment different monetization opportunities, because there are so many.
We can't let you go without showing off your kid. Just like,
She's watching me. Say hello.
Awesome. Thank you.
We yeah, we just moved here and it's just me and her. So yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Deepti.
Thank you.
Yeah, moving on to Anna with Shop Halo.
Hi everyone, my name is Anna and I'm the founder of Halo, a new e-commerce platform that uses viral peer referrals to save brands money on customer acquisition. It's never been easier to start an e-commerce brand. Thanks to technologies like Shopify, an entrepreneur can stand up a brand in a weekend. But unfortunately, it's never been harder to reach consumers. Even before last year's iOS 14 update, Facebook ads could cost 40% or more of the average order value. Fast forward a year later, and some brands have seen their cost of ads go up by 5 times. Despite all this money being spent on ads, consumers still hate them. 74% of millennials and Gen Z object to being targeted by brands in their social media feeds. It turns out 92% of us trust each other over advertising. And it's not just in e-commerce that we see this trend playing out. We're currently undergoing a generational shift in consumer behavior. The balance of power is shifting back. We see this playing out everywhere, from Starbucks to GameStop. The internet is entering a new generation where consumers are demanding to be rewarded for the value they create. What does this mean for e-commerce? Consumers are demanding choice, fair rewards, and upside, while brands are looking for alternatives to extractive ad platforms. At Halo, we're building for this future. We're helping consumers get rewarded for supporting and sharing the brands they love. We're helping brands save money by directly incentivizing consumers to buy, share, and engage. Our first feature on Halo uses group discounts as purchase incentives. It allows a brand to take the money that they previously would have just dumped directly into Facebook's pockets and instead pass this along to the consumer in the form of a discount. So how does it work? Shoppers come to Halo to find deals. We call them parties. Parties only last for a short time, and as more people join, the price goes down. It's fun and gamified. But there's another incentive to help the party grow as fast as possible. Anyone who brings a friend who also buys gets a much bigger discount. And this really works. The result of aligning these incentives is truly viral purchasing. Here's the real network graph of a party we ran recently. On the left, you can see that 13 users joined the party initially. They then invited friends, who in turn invited more friends. In only 4 hours, we had over 80 purchasers from 24 different states and completely sold out. On average, every user in this party brought another 1.3 friends to purchase. As a result of harnessing this viral word of mouth, brands can save money. Halo works by ensuring that the blended discount rate of our parties is less than what the brand is paying for ads on other channels. In fact, $1 spent on Halo goes 1.5 times as far. Users love it and brands are saving real money. As I mentioned earlier, discounts are really only the beginning. This system of using rewards to drive conversion and engagement can be extended to many other features. Halo takes home 5% of the gross merchandise value created on our platform, representing a massive opportunity as e-commerce continues to grow. Our next milestone is a large-scale launch for holiday this year. We're adding 80 brands and 10,000 shoppers to get us to $1 million in annual GMV. I've spent most of the last decade working in e-commerce as a product manager at Google, and prior to that, leading product for a venture-backed mobile commerce platform. I've started assembling a team of experts as investors, advisors, and full-time employees. I built the last generation of e-commerce, and now at Halo, I'm excited to be building the next. If the future of commerce excites you, I'd love to have you join me. I'm currently actively recruiting full-stack engineers and designers. I'm also raising around and would love to add more strategic angels to our cap table. So if you're interested, email me this weekend to get involved. Thanks.
Awesome. And I believe we don't have a demo recording, right?
I don't. I'm going to drop our URL here for our MVP. So if you're interested, please check it out. See if there's anything that you'd like to buy.
Sounds good. Let's jump into Q&A then, 4 minutes.
Do you host the shopping experience?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So
it's currently a marketplace.
So like when I invite a friend, I'm inviting them to install an app or go to a website. I mean, it's like, so just want to know like the configuration.
Yeah, it's a website. So all of the products, I can go through how it works. All of the products are listed on our website. In the future, we'll also have an app. So the user joins the party through our website. They go through checkout, which is right now Stripe hosted checkout. They come back, land on the site. They can refer their friends. All the referral traffic happens in the user's own social networks right now. We see mostly text and WhatsApp referrals. And then those users who get referred come back and transact on our website. That's right now. In the future, we also plan to have extensions for browsers where users can view deals and transact within the browser window, and also plugins for the brands that we work with to live on their like post-checkout confirmation pages.
So, I mean, my main question here is that, you know, referrals have been around for a long time. And for context, I worked in referrals at Dropbox. I built a company in the space that was acquired and worked in referrals like as a buyer on the Lyft side, in addition to like a bunch of other channels. So I know a stupid amount about this topic. And like, you know, Groupon exists, like group buying is not that new. And so I guess what's different? Like, why now?
Yeah, so a really familiar concept in the retail industry is the give 20, get 20 mechanism. So if you go through checkout, you've just purchased a pair of shoes, on the confirmation page or in the email you get, you'll see like, hey, if you refer our company to your friend, they'll save $20 on their next purchase and you'll save $20 on your next purchase, for example. What we're doing is essentially taking that incentive, moving it up to the time of purchase where it's relevant and aligned for the user. If they've just spent, you know, $100 on a pair of shoes, they don't know when their next purchase from that specific company is going to be. So that's one thing, is actually taking that incentive and aligning it to the time of purchase in order to increase the referral rate. The other is creating this gamified experience where you can come and see this expiring party. You know, there may be 5 to 10 people in the party, so the discount's going to be a little bit lower than if you stumble back on this in the future. So it also increases conversion because of this sense of urgency of the party expiring.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like super popular now, they're still around, but like Mass Drop was like pretty popular back when I was in college, but they had like a specific vertical. It was basically like headphone equipment and keyboards. Are you trying to target a specific vertical, or is it pretty broad right now?
So what you'll see if you click through to our link is going to be pretty broad. This spring, we've been running some experiments to see which niches this resonates with the most. But we have been, our initial hypothesis was that it would work best for apparel and accessories and health and beauty verticals. And our early experiments have kind of confirmed that. So right now we've identified 3 niches that we're going to test further and then hone in on just one of those for the launch. Some of the niches that we're looking at are the health and beauty. So beauty aficionados, people who care about clean healthcare or clean health and beauty, like, you know, face creams, lotions, that kind of stuff. The second is sporting enthusiasts. So people who are developing new hobbies outside of work for the first time. So looking at things like climbing or skiing, trail running, golfing, that kind of stuff. And then the third vertical that we're looking at are new parents and people who are about to become new parents. There's just a massive amount of purchasing activity that goes on in that stage of life. And friend referrals and community referrals are a big source of the purchase activity that goes on there.
I remember when Groupon was at its height, Matt Kohler on stage, I think at a TechCrunch event, was like, yeah, we didn't get Groupon because, you know, coupons will just degenerate into like a bunch of competitors and there's no barriers to entry. But I guess I was wrong there. And then like, that's what happened. And so Matt Kohler was very correct. I know we only have a few seconds left, but I would definitely think about like defensibility because of, you know, just the path to like low margins. Maybe owning the customer experience in like a social shopping experience. It's actually something where you own the customer. That would be really compelling. I don't know if you've given this much thought.
Yeah, so I agree. We're not in the race to the bottom here. We're not going after low cost, low margin type of goods. There are some companies that have been super successful with that overseas. Like in China, there's a company called Pinduoduo, which is sort of this like third wave of group buying. And we have taken from that the lessons about how to generate this social virality, but we're actually going after products that have a bit more of a margin where the brands are actively spending a ton of money advertising, and we can cut from that part of the margin in order to create this experience. And like I mentioned in the pitch, discounts are the first way for a brand to use incentives to encourage this kind of brand positive behavior, whether that's conversion or engagement or retention in the long term. But there's lots of other ways, because not every brand discounts, and not every brand is going to be open to discounting all of the time. So we have to create this really engaging, centralized experience for discovery.
All right, thank you, Anna. We're going to move on to
Thanks.
Lan from Assembo.
Hi everyone, my name is Lan. I'm the co-founder of Assembo. Let's picture this. You are a project team leader. You are in a lengthy problem-solving meeting for your project, and everyone's on their own laptop because not everyone needs to be there the whole time, but they still need their action items and the background of the discussion. So you're typing notes and assigning action items as fast as you can right after the meeting, but then you have another meeting coming right up and 3 more meetings waiting in line. Now, some people use transcription apps in this scenario, which have been around for a while, but they don't really help you to have better meetings to begin with, or to mark down the important information as the meeting goes. Instead, you spend extra time after meeting trying to squeeze more information out of pages-long transcriptions. But with Assembo, you can take notes almost automatically during meetings. So you can really focus on the conversations and get more out of meetings in less time, or even have fewer meetings. Now, how does Assembo work? First of all, we have a real-time transcription running during the meeting on the right side. Let's say if you're in a problem-solving meeting where nobody has a free hand to take detailed notes, you can use voice commands like Assembo, write it down. Assembo will add the transcript to the notes on the left. Or you can say Assembo, assign this to Lan on Jira. Assembo will also do the job. Meanwhile, we generate action items you might have missed, and you can select them as the meeting goes. And if you're in a one-on-one customer discovery meeting and you're talking actively, you don't want to disrupt the conversation, and you want to quickly jot down some customer needs, you can just simply click on any line of the transcription to add to the notes on the left. Now, why did we want to work on this problem? It came from my experiences of meeting fatigue from my product manager job back in DJI. And then I talked to my co-founder and my college friend Yuhao about it. He also suffers from the same problem from the previous 3D printer startup he co-founded as the CTO. Later, we asked Yumo, our college friend as well, who has full stack software development experience, to program the MVP with us. We all know communication is the key to success for any team, any organization. And Assembo can turn your meetings into an AI command center for any communication, a healthy beating heart that pumps information flow through the entire team, that connects the right people and connects the right work apps more and more automatically in the future of work. Progress-wise, through this build sprint, we successfully launched our MVP and got to almost 100 signups, thanks to the helpful feedback from our mentor, Jeremy, and our fellows and organizers. Last but not least, you can sign up today to join our early user community on Assembo.ai. And if you're interested in joining our team, and we are actively looking for a business development co-founder with a SaaS, AI, future of work background, or if you're interested in investing in us to speed up our journey to publish beta, don't hesitate to contact us at contact@assembo.ai. Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of the event. You can open Assembo in an extension, and then it'll take you directly to our web app. Then you can turn on the mic to just start transcribing.
You can click on transcript to add notes.
Or you can say Assembo, write it down. Or you can say Assembo, assign this to Tony.
Meanwhile, we can generate action items that you can select from. And you can send notes to emails as well.
Sweet. We got 4 minutes for Q&A.
Does it work inside a Zoom and Hangouts, or is it like your own platform?
Oh, we don't build a video call site, so it's Zoom or just any video call. And right now we're a web app, so you just put everyone on the speaker, and then you turn, and then it just start transcribing through the speaker. So at this stage, we're doing it like the fastest possible way we can. But in the future, we're definitely trying to like add a chatbot to Zoom app, so every time you open up a meeting, you remember to use it.
And what's
the product in space? Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. What's the besides behind going through like voice activation to start, rather than kind of like the subtle commands? And how have you seen that like disruptive to meetings, additive to meetings?
Sorry. So your question is, what does voice commands mean to meeting, or?
Seen like, how have you seen like the voice commands be additive to meetings? Or my original gut instinct would be they would be distracting. So I'm curious to hear how people use the voice activation part.
Yeah, currently we have two types of users, like I said, in the use cases. So if we're actively talking and we want to quickly jot down some information, it's like easier for you to just press enter and then just take down that note. But then in internal meetings where everybody is talking, and it's also easier for each person to have the ability to quickly just say, Assembo, write it down, or Assembo, add this to Slack, instead of like they're trying to stop the conversation and then take notes by themselves. So we see two scenarios in the current user that are using our app.
Absolutely love the space. I think it's one of these things where like in 100 years, there's going to be AI that writes everything down, and we won't have to, maybe not 100 years, maybe less than that. And Rhetoric, the product there, has been involved with that team, and it evolved from a similar idea. There's a product called Fathom as well, in 2 YC batches ago, and they embed exactly like Alex asked in Zoom. So it's like a button click while you're in a Zoom call, while like in the interface. So Zoom has exposed APIs to make that relatively easy. And I know you want to like just get something out fast, but it's one of these things where understanding that experience is super important. But again, I really like the space. And I'm curious, I wanted to ask, the other information within a company, can you process that to be useful? So if, all these Slack messages going by, status updates or whatever else, are you considering like ingesting all that? Or how do you consider like knowledge management? I guess it's a big topic, but what do you think?
Yeah. So we definitely see that for our app, there are two things that are the most important. One is convenience. So like people actually remember to use it during meetings. The second is connectivity, which is like helping people to prepare for meetings beforehand, either in Slack, sending them an agenda, or like sending everybody meeting notes, or just assigning them tasks in the places they're actually working after the meetings. So our next step is definitely working on convenience and connectivity, which means that for convenience, we're going to connect to Zoom API. And then for connectivity, the first app we're going to connect to is Slack, and then hopefully like Confluence and Jira. So yeah, that's our rough roadmap for knowledge management.
Cool, sounds good.
Sweet, thanks, Lan. Up next, we got Cam from Cyclic.
Hi, I'm Cam, and this is Cyclic. With Cyclic, you can build, deploy, and host your full stack JavaScript apps, whether it's a single page application, a micro front end, a REST API, a Slack bot, a Discord bot. Any of that and all of that is possible on the platform. We're currently in public beta, so we're looking for early customers to partner with us as we build this out, and looking for individual developers who want to ship code and iterate quickly. Our goal is to shorten your cycle time. So that means shaving off all the unnecessary pieces and keeping you from having to build out reams of unnecessary YAML to wrestle with your infrastructure to get things deployed. So let me walk you through an example of how you can use Cyclic. This is out and live right now. You can use it at the end of this presentation. So once you log in, you can pick either a starter we've built for you, or you can link one of your own JavaScript applications. Once you enable the Git app, then we will build out, a GitHub app. We will build out a CI/CD pipeline for you that allows you to have a standard NPM build process without having to configure anything. And with our focus on shaving off the unnecessary complexity, we scan your code, we look for environment variables, and we prompt you to make sure that those variables are set. Pretty logical, right? We give you a single place to look at what's happening with your application. We let you either copy and paste your env file or use a key value editor to set environment variables. We let you immediately set a custom subdomain and configure HTTPS for you. So in just a few clicks, you're able to have a custom subdomain out live with your application. This is the goal of what we're trying to build with Cyclic. We give you the visibility you would expect, streaming logs in our console. You can see exactly what's happening with your app. You push, deploys, you get another notification here in the logs. Users liked that. They liked what they could see in the inspector, and so they started asking us for more. And so that's what we built here. This is transactions. And this is a parsed version of the logs. It takes in all of the request information for each HTTP request and parses it and structures it here in the console for you, and lets you see each of the headers that's coming through on each request, the method, the status code, and the path, as well as the response that goes back out to the client. We also grab the structured log information so that you can see log statements as they relate to each request. We let you turn on password-based auth with just a couple of clicks, and your proof of concept or your API can be secured right away, easily, no problem. Cyclic is built on global infrastructure, and we have given you that same power. So we have enabled you to deploy either close to where your users are, or let you spread your service across multiple regions as necessary. We also have bring your own hosting. So when you are ready to bring your own cloud environment, we enable you to deploy into that AWS account. Where we're at right now is we've built the platform. We're onboarding early customers and single developers who are looking to build and iterate quickly. We're a small team, so we're very responsive and very passionate. Myself, electrical computer engineering 03, as well as Mike Kroslev, Temple Made here in Philly, but we won't hold that against him. And we'd love to hear from you. So either say hello, try it out yourself using the deploy link here, or hit us up on Discord. Looking forward to hearing from you. Bye.
Awesome. I think it's just Q&A now, right? Cam, no demo?
No demo. That was the demo.
Yeah, it was a walkthrough. Yeah, it's awesome. Sounds good. 5 minutes.
Hey, yeah. So you mentioned the sweet spot is single page apps and like RESTful APIs. Is that right?
Yeah, and we've seen some people build out Slack bots.
I see. Is it like, is one of the theses, and I'm ascribing my own bias to this, but like it is really annoying to work with like Lambda, and there hasn't been like a Heroku-like solution for the sorts of like Lambda, whatever Google calls Google Cloud Function. Is that the kind of place you're targeting?
Yeah, and so very much what you see is like our go-to-market. The thesis is a little bit broader than that. It's that the pool of developers is growing more rapidly than the tenure of those developers is increasing. So the average tenure of developers is dropping. And you have cloud services that are getting more and more complex. So there's more and more power that's enabled. And so there's this growing gap in the middle that a platform can provide. So yes, with Lambda, wiring it together, even as an expert, you can have fine, sharp edges and it can be difficult. And it doesn't really feel like you're actually providing value. The other proof point there is that most large enterprises, software enterprises, have a platform team. So when you're in a small shop or when you're in just a couple people trying a proof of concept or an MVP, you want that sort of functionality or features that maybe you're used to having at your former company, but you want from day one.
And just so like I'm understanding it, like Heroku, which forgive me for repeating, it's like kind of was the gold standard for like easily spinning up apps, has gotten more and more complicated as they try to serve a broader population. So you all come in and bring the simplicity down even further from that. Is that fair?
I mean, simplicity, that's fine. The goal is not that. The goal is the speed. Now, I would assess that one of the problems with Heroku and their stalled growth is from the fact that people have seen that they don't have a way of ejecting, similar to Ivan's discussion previously on one of the other demos, right? Like if you don't think you can ever get out, then people are hesitant to come in. So that's where shifting and letting people own the hosting, that it doesn't have to be our hosting. If they need to connect it into other things, it doesn't have to be owned in our marketplace, right? The pricing model is based on just usage of our tool. So fixed rate, and then some upsell on what they're shipping through their product. On Invokes, for example.
When do you think you can launch?
Oh, we're live now. So that what I went through.
I saw a proof of concept in there, so I was a little confused.
Oh, sorry. What I'm talking about is my the users are usually launching proof of concepts. Our customers are coming on. Yeah. We're in public beta, so like we haven't sorted our pricing. That's probably the biggest thing that so like right now. Also, how we've implemented our architecture, our costs are all on our own time and not on like the actual hardware. So it's not like we have a driver from the hardware side. I don't know if that answers your question.
I actually didn't understand that. So can you?
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was just saying that like we feel good about the platform. We feel good about people using it. We don't want cost to be a barrier for people to come on and use it. And we don't have our pricing sorted, so we're not quite sure what to ask or price point. Maybe that's just something we should put a stake in the ground and say that we're launched live.
How do you expect to grow with people? I can imagine people starting to use it like the very start as a proof of concept to do it, but then what do you think needs to change with the product to grow with your customers?
Yeah, our thought is that around the bring your own hosting, that's going to be where enterprises want that. We've been in talks with some early companies that are interested, and they've asked for what sort of compliance or data standards. And so whether it's SOC 2 or PCI or those types of things, common like enterprise step up, you want the certifications for compliance.
Will you do like database or like any storage hosting too in configuration?
Yeah, we've rolled out a preview on a wrapper around Dynamo to make it just like a straight key value. And we've this was actually feedback from the Shark Tank that Adam Gross did. And we've been exploring some other things. I'm not going to talk about them right now, but that's on our roadmap, is like find ways to make it so you don't have to configure that database experience. And that's what I think people really liked first off with Heroku, is that you had your Postgres instance directly connected. And so we have plans in that area. We're continuing to move towards that.
Awesome. Thanks, Cam. We're going to move on to Christian from Eachday.
Hey, I'm Christian Murphy. Christian like the religion, Murphy like Eddie Murphy. And I'm going to tell you how Eachday is defining the future of ADHD treatment. Our team of experts know a lot about ADHD and have a lot of experience shipping technology, working at places like Google, Highmark, and IDEO. ADHD in general is skyrocketing. There's been a steady rise in ADHD patients during the last 20 years. Beyond that, adult diagnosis doubled in the last decade. With the fact that ADHD is up to 91% hereditary, this problem is not going away. It's only going to get worse, and we need to solve that. So, as someone with ADHD, my executive function deficiency prevents me from achieving my goals. I have problems with things like memory, impulse control, being able to focus, or start tasks. But it's not my fault. These issues stem from a difference in cortical maturation that happened when I was growing up. But the issues with my executive functions persist into adulthood. Worse yet, I can't get the treatment I need because it just doesn't exist. We focus so much on medication, and some people get therapy, But the truth is, executive function training is so expensive, localized, that people can't access it. Beyond that, there's no tool that exists that helps me quantify my ADHD. And this sucks because I see my my psychiatrist once every 6 months. If I can't remember what I ate for lunch 4 days ago, how am I supposed to remember 6 months of ADHD symptoms? It's impossible. And people are looking for help. The issue is they're looking on their phones, and right now all they're getting is TikTok, which is filled with misinformation. Despite that, ADHD tagged videos have been viewed an average of 3 million times each. So what's the solution? Eachday, a day-to-day gamified ADHD self-management app that strengthens these executive functions to reduce the frequency of ADHD symptoms. We pair this with our digital biomarker that tracks cognitive failures that cause those ADHD symptoms to occur. And we're actually the first company to ever digitize executive function training. So our app is built for the ground up for an ADHD audience. It's physical, it's tactile, it's fun. And it consists of a feed that outlines your whole day for you with special things as they pop up during the year. Our content is focused both on cognitive behavioral therapy and executive function training. And we personalize the content you receive based on questions we ask and how you onboard onto the app. All this comes together in our digital biomarker, which helps us track when you're getting off task and provide real-time interventions. As you use the app, it grows with you and provides a digital memory. One thing that's really interesting is we look at high schoolers who use this with their parents to reinforce it. They go to college, and then in college, it changes. They need to do their own laundry. They need to balance drugs and alcohol with schoolwork. And then as adults, they have to start paying bills. And then when they have kids, they're people with ADHD, and because of the hereditary nature of the disorder, their kids have it too. It's a nightmare. So this is something that actually lasts your entire lifetime. So we charge $150 a year to use our service. We're starting direct to consumer, and from there, going to sell through enterprise, HR, care clinics, etc. It's a huge market that we're tackling. And right now, available solutions just aren't hitting it. That's because they're focused purely on cognitive behavioral therapy, children, or prescriptions. And we know productivity tools just aren't sticky with an ADHD audience because they're too painful to set up. Our tool is different. We have not only cognitive behavioral therapy, but executive function training in real time. We're the first mover advantage for digital therapeutics for adults and adolescents with a biomarker built in. We also are better than productivity tools because we've built our app around user interactions that create dopamine to increase adherence. So we have a lot of demand for our product. We see this with our wait list. Beyond that, we've only been around for 8 months and we've had terrific successes. We launched an experiment, ADHD radio, with over 15,000 views. From there, Carnegie Mellon invested $25,000, which we used to prototype our first test flight. We tested that with 52 users, took the feedback, and got into IndieBio, who invested $200,000 so we could conduct our clinical discovery study. Now we're raising a seed round. I'd love to tell you more about this if you're interested, with a focus on bolstering our talent, working with sales so we can get to market in the next 4 to 6 months, and then proving out additional efficacy. With that money, we'll start these sales, engage the FDA, and establish an IRB so we can begin clinical trials and prove ourselves as a digital therapeutic. I'm really excited about the approach we're taking to solve ADHD. How are we going to work together? I can't wait to hear from you.
Awesome. 5-minute Q&A.
Why do you need the IRB? Can you launch a product and measure without that?
We totally can. So what we could do is go into the wellness space and then sell through there, and based on customer uptick, retention, et cetera, then we could go through an IRB. And that's kind of why we wanted to get to market in the next 4 to 6 months. What we're trying to do is it in parallel, essentially, because it's going to take so much time. It took us almost a year, maybe 6 or 7 months to try and set up this clinical discovery study. So getting ahead of that is going to be pivotal for us. And with digital therapeutics just being so new, it's kind of the Wild West with the FDA. So who knows in terms of cost setups and that other stuff.
Can you do prescriptions as well?
No, we completely avoid that. 1, because it's the easiest thing to get in terms of what we can get in the United States. 2, it's an FDA regulatory nightmare. The business I started before this actually was an e-prescription business with a AI annotated tool for psychiatrists. And what we found was there's a couple competitors in that space. 1, 2, the margins were very low. because you have to pay the psychiatrist, and it's basically like a feeder farm. You're like a white collar drug dealer with no guns or anything cool. So it kind of sucks.
So like the it seems like everyone's pushing ADHD medicine on the the TikToks and the Instagrams of the world, but like now you're seeing like these verticals with like Headspace is like one of the best apps, and like really zoning your zoning your content into like strictly people who suffer from ADHD. Who produces the content? Like it sounds like you have some medical experts behind you, but how what's guiding the sort of treatment?
Yeah, so my co-founder, Dr. Duke Leptananchai, he has 20 years of experience diagnosing and treating both children and adults. He's a clinical child psychiatrist. And then our other co-founder, John Mahoney, actually was diagnosed with severe ADHD. He was told he wasn't even a graduate from high school because of it. He went through rigorous executive function training and ended up graduating from UC Berkeley. So he runs a lot of our executive function content. Beyond that, just to address like the Calm or Headspace, we're talking about like 93 to 96% churn. So while they are like kind of like the leader there, they don't have retention. And so our whole thing is not only designing it so that interacting with it provides dopamine, but kind of gamifying the experience of better managing your finances, body, mind, environment, and relationship, and seeing how that happens in app, in game, and then how that plays out in real life is kind of the reward structure we built in there.
And how does that like feedback cycle work with like the reward cycle? Like how do you know when someone's doing better?
Yeah, so it's through self-reporting. ADHD has always been through self-reporting, whether it's getting a diagnosis or otherwise. So you're encouraged to kind of go through your app and swipe right if you're going to do something, swipe left if you're going to do it later or not do it. And then it basically compiles. And the way the game is designed is you have to swipe left on some things, and then you try and swipe right on as much things that are like relevant to that day. So something like taking out your trash, you only need to swipe right on that like once a week. So you kind of have to plan and prioritize these things. And that's one of the most fundamental executive functions that people with ADHD struggle with, planning and prioritization.
Yeah, I wonder if to-do lists can be measured here, even if you have to-do lists that are measured elsewhere. I should also say, like, I should be a customer here. And I've been frustrated by a lot of these things, especially as an adult. And what I think about to-do lists is that, like, you have them open all day, and it's the kind of thing where, like, here's what I want to get done. My wife helps me take out the trash. Like, she'll remind me. It's more like, what is the work exactly? Like the post-it notes that are there and tracking different things. It's really cool.
Yeah, and I think that there's always going to be dynamic aspects, especially as adults, you and I, right? Like we have work obligations as a CEO. Like I get people who email me. I literally flew out to SF in like 48 hours notice. So that's why I excel in this role, because it's like there's suddenly a change and you get to react to it. But a lot of the fundamentals there in terms of running your life day to day can get sacrificed, whether that's eating healthy, working out, even brushing your teeth regularly. And so when we look at ADHD as a spectrum, we think about it from a autism on one side and then what was once called Asperger's on the other side. People across this, we all struggle with some of the fundamental things and then some much more than others. And one of the challenges with the clinical discovery study has been some of the kids actually do have autism, and it's an even more kind of challenging group to design for in that sense. But we are very focused on ADHD specifically.
Awesome.
Cool. Thanks,
Christian.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time on Saturday to come listen to this. And I'll definitely reach out, and I'm happy to share early prototypes with you at some point.
All right. Next up, we have Abhishek from Covalent.
Hey everyone, I'm Abhishek, one of the co-founders of Covalent. We help remote and hybrid organizations build community and culture through workflow automation. So my background is primarily in software engineering and finance. I dropped out of CMU to start my first company, which is called VectorDash. It was a cloud gaming startup. We went through Y Combinator in 2019. I worked on that for about a year and a half and then decided to shut that company down. After that, I kind of worked on a bunch of different projects for the next few months. And I met David during this time as my co-founder. And we got super excited about the community space because, especially in a post-COVID world, it's really hard to feel that sense of belonging and connection that we used to feel when people were in person. And because of that, we thought that this would be a super high leverage problem to tackle because people are starting to feel lonely and depressed and life sucks right now. So yeah, just to reiterate, the problem we're solving is that remote work is isolating and people have lost that sense of belonging that they used to feel in a pre-COVID world. And this is unsolved, and people have tried to do a bunch of different things to solve it. Zoom cooking classes, talent shows, happy hours. All of these things suck because they don't actually help people build meaningful relationships. And meaningful connections form in one-on-ones and small groups, but actually doing this well is really, really hard, especially at scale, because right now, people ops departments and HR departments are doing this very manually. So they'll have like a spreadsheet with all the employees in the company, and they'll manually match those people. So that's where our solution comes in. We use data to understand the members of an organization, and we use that understanding to actually connect the people who are relevant to each other, and we automate all of this. So this manifests in a bunch of different ways. So some of our example workflows include onboarding, mentorship, event breakouts, networking, D&I events, offsites and retreats, and a bunch of other things. So I would say there are like 3 major components to our product. The first is context. So actually having the ability to support any type of people initiative, one-on-ones, groups, etc. This is really important because every organization has a different culture, and we need to cater our solution to with that in mind, right? Because different cultures warrant different types of connection. The second piece is relevance. So we can actually figure out who's relevant to each other based on the data that we collect, and then make intelligent matches. So you actually have something in common with the person you're meeting. And the third piece is friction. So handling the logistics of scheduling makes it super easy for people to meet. Here's an example intro email that we might send out. So you can see there's context. So the 2 people we're introducing actually know something about each other. They have access to each other's LinkedIn and kind of know their role at the company. The second piece is relevance. So they're not going into this 30-minute conversation completely blind. They actually know something about each other, and they know what they have in common. And the third piece is friction. So we can send a calendar invite if the 2 people are remote, or if they're in the same city, then we can actually tell them, hey, you should meet up at Bread's Bakery or whatever it is. We'll skip this slide. This slide is old, but we've connected over 20,000 people now, and over 90% have rated their experience 4 or 5 stars. I love the qualitative feedback we get. So my favorite probably is this one. You found my work soulmate, LOL. We have so much in common. So that's like the power of the data that we collect and the actual matching that we do. So yeah, today what we're doing is we're building a self-serve platform to get a bunch of users on board, get it in front of a bunch of people, and see if the solution works and does the thing it's supposed to. And this, having a self-serve platform, will enable us to basically become a viral growth engine. We have seen a lot of our growth come from word of mouth and inbound, and we expect to keep seeing that, especially as we make this fully self-serve. Second component is workflow automation. So once we have a self-serve product, we can actually start to automate much more of the stack. And then the third piece is using the data that we have to provide insights about the people in an organization to the people ops department or HR department. And this is obviously a massive market. Every company now is thinking about remote and hybrid, and nobody really knows how to deal with it. So this is a massive problem. So if you are running a team and you resonate with this problem, or if you're a community manager or you're in a community where you feel this problem, where it's like hard to connect with people, then hit me up. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. And we have a little demo.
Hey guys, just want to what we built during Build Sprint. So let's jump into it. So this is a dashboard where people can see the match programs that they're running. This would be for a community manager. And then they can view the copy for the messages that will be sent to the members of the community. And they can actually edit this copy here. And this kind of dictates like the emails that we send out for community managers. And then if you guys are familiar with Typeform, we built out another version of that where you can add a question. So for example, what is your favorite season? And we could do summer, spring. I'll name the season. I'll save it. And you'll see that this will now show up in the opt-in form that we ask users to fill out. So if I go here, I will be able to see all the questions in the opt-in form, and this would be a member of the community filling out this form. So what is your favorite season? And then I can submit. Finally, we built out a way for people to specify what they want to match the members of their community based on. So here I can add a preference and say match members with the same season. And I can now save that. And that's it. Thank you.
Awesome. We have time for a 4-minute Q&A.
At a conference this week, Miami Tech Week, and I was thinking about your product because I've seen this before, and it's like, you walk into somebody and you're like, hey, where are you from? Are you from Miami? Are you gonna move here? Are you a startup, VC? Like, what are you doing? The same things. And I would love to have like the ability to record a minute for myself and then watch like 60 1-minute things recommended by an algorithm that I think matches up. So I think you had that little bit at the end there with like events. There's definitely something with events as far as like building a profile, making a connection, because it has to be done. It's like an urgent thing because that's like in-person thing you need to get to. So I'm sure there's something there.
Yeah, absolutely. Events, we've run this for a few events actually, and it's worked really, really well. And this ranges from like conferences to Hustle Fund, for example, is throwing an event. Haley from Hustle Fund is here. And so these events are, I think the purpose of them is to really get people to meet each other, and they don't do a good job of that today. And communities are similar in the sense, communities don't really do a good job of helping people create those meaningful relationships. And that's why the one-on-ones are really important.
Is there like getting tricked like onboarding an organization with like all that data, or is like the people ops team got to manually input that?
Yeah, so we actually integrate with HRIS systems. We can also get data from Twitter, LinkedIn, all sorts of sources. And we can also get people to fill out information that we want to collect.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, Donut's like a kind of crappy Slack app. No offense to anyone that does it, but like it obviously there's a ton of room. Like we used it like super heavily at Divi, but it was like there's always like more to be desired. So I can imagine that this coming in and just like rip and replace what people currently have.
Yeah, totally.
Are people paying for it yet, or do you know how to think about pricing?
Yep, all of our customers are paying for it today. We haven't been completely focused on monetization, so it's not like 500K contracts yet, but all of our customers today are paying.
And is it like email interactions primarily, or you plug it into the usual suspects of like work communication?
Usual suspects. So we have email. Because that's the most general. We also integrate with Slack. So all the communication you saw in that pitch can also go out through Slack. Same with Discord, Microsoft Teams, and soon messages.
It seemed kind of manual to be able to like ask questions, like, this season thing. And I know there are probably verticals where you might be able to repeat the questions. And so I guess what do you think would be automated there? Whether it's like themes, like a work thing will be like, what do you do? And versus like, what kind of books do you like? Or is there any kind of like AI on your roadmap to be able to look at all the questions that have been asked and maybe suggest some? Like, what do you think you'll need to do when?
Yeah, this is a great question. So convenience is very top of mind for us. The time to setting up a matching program is like one of our North Star metrics. And so to kind of reduce that, what we've thought about is templates. So template questions, for example, with all the communities and enterprises that we work with, there's a set of questions that most people tend to ask. And those questions tend to work really, really well. And so we're going to build those out as templates. So you click a button and you'll have like a gives and gets question, or an interest question, or a hobbies question. So we'll make that super easy. And then also we can build this out for different verticals. So for example, onboarding, right? If you want to onboard a new employee, there's a particular type of matching that you would want to run. And there are specific questions that are probably more valuable to ask. And so we can have like an onboarding use case where they click one button that says onboarding, and it sets up the full match program that they can then set up, but everything's set up for them to go.
Is there any kind of freemium opportunity here? Like, does my profile exist beyond like a single company or community? I would imagine that like, if it does, then activity in one community can onboard another because everyone's involved in multiple organizations and companies and schools and everything.
Yeah, that's a great question. So this kind of ties into like the massive grand vision, which is if I were to build LinkedIn today, how would I build it? I wouldn't go direct to consumers because we've seen problems with LinkedIn that arise from that, which is the quality bar gets lower and lower as more and more people join. But if you start with communities and go with people who already know each other, the quality bar, you're kind of outsourcing that problem to every community or organization that you work with. And so the answer to your question is yes, like the value is in the data. And by collecting this data and having the data for specific communities, we'll be able to essentially build a better version of LinkedIn.
Awesome. Sweet grand vision to wrap this up here. Thanks, Abhishek. We're gonna jump into the second breakout sessions now. We got 6 founders from the previous block that want to talk to you. They want to hear your questions. They want to hear your feedback and suggestions. So yeah, highly encourage you guys to jump out to these breakout rooms that we're going to open in 1 second here. And the judges are actually going to jump into a separate Zoom call now to deliberate on the awards. So very exciting. Once we come back from this, we'll announce the awards and we'll close out here with some calls to action. Sweet. So yeah, next 10 minutes, we'll be back at 3:15 for awards, or I guess 7 minutes. Yeah, so it's a little bit short, but if you want to just share trade contact info to follow up afterwards, that works as well. Another message again, please drop the link again, Shin. So while we're presenting all these other judge deliberated prizes, please vote in the poll and we'll announce the crowd favorite last. Yeah, let's go to the next slide. So if you presented today, please keep your video on because we're going to spotlight you as we announce the winners. And yeah, it could be anyone. So we will let Alex kick it off first with best idea.
Cool. So first of all, thank you all for having me. It's scary to put yourself and your idea out in the universe. So I applaud you all for doing so. Like just building cool stuff and like contributing to the world is awesome. So I'm glad to be able to share that with y'all. We deliberated and we were excited to announce that we voted for the best idea was Jisell with Alex and Yunfan. So thank you for pitching and sharing to us. It was super cool to see the new twist on gift cards. So yeah.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we're excited about this.
It means a lot.
Gift cards have never been more exciting. Thank you guys. Cool. And then Yvonne will present for best execution.
Just to reiterate what Alex said, definitely thank you so much for having us. And I actually have some really good news. You know, we're going to have like a ranking and announce winners in these categories, but actually, thank God for capitalism. It's not zero sum. Everyone can win in the market, and so especially when it comes to execution, like everyone could do well. So like go and take it because this ranking is not as important as that. But we did have a ranking and we did have a winner. And so for best execution, we have Syndee, Deeply. I think that you have a very complex product space and you're really innovating there as far as things we've never seen before. You know, like having tasks and chat and calendars along with like reviews and products in a marketplace. There's a whole host of things that I think are super interesting there. So congratulations.
Yeah, and the cameo from your daughter, I think really sold everyone.
Thank you. Yeah.
Still has been there.
Cool.
All right.
And then the last award that we deliberated on was the best pitch. I think this person presented an idea that I wasn't familiar with. I think a lot of us weren't familiar with, but made it really clear, digestible, understandable. So for best pitch, we chose Christian of Eachday. So congrats, Christian.
Nice.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that, guys.
Awesome. And cool. And the poll results are in for crowd favorites. I want to hear it from everyone with Zoom reactions once I announce this, but it's tight, it's close, but the crowd favorite of the day was Eachday with Christian once again. So we'll bring him up once again. Great job, Christian. Awesome. He's shocked. He's like, wow, I didn't expect that.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Really appreciate it. Great community. So appreciate you guys supporting me. And I hope that one day ADHD is more manageable than it is now. So
awesome. All right. And then we're just going to go ahead and wrap this up. So yeah, thank you for all the presenters, you know, for stepping on stage here with us. Thank you for all the judges, you know, for carving out this this time in their afternoon and, you know, commenting, giving thoughtful feedback to all of our presenters. And thank you for everyone out there in the audience for tuning in and supporting early CMU founders. So we just have a few things that we want to throw out there. If you're a founder and you think, wow, this is really awesome, can we do it again? Can we do it all the time? The answer is yes. We're actually going to run a future cohort very soon. So if you're interested, please join the waitlist, cmute.io/buildsprint. And if you're someone that's a little bit more experienced and you want to mentor some of these folks, that's been a huge value add in our community as well. So please don't hesitate to reach out to either me or Rachel on Slack, on the TNE Slack, or via email. We can drop that in the recap thing that we're going to send out later. And yeah, leaving feedback for the pitches. You know, we sent out all those rhetoric links. If you didn't have a chance to interact with some of the founders, but you want to, you know, give your thoughts, share your thoughts and feedback, definitely take advantage of that. And I'm sure the founders would really appreciate it. So that wraps up, you know, our first Buildsprint demo day ever. Super exciting. You know, while I was watching this, I was like thinking to myself, we're really seeing the early signs of like this fantastic CMU accelerator. You know, like this is a great way to just sort of like communicate that vision and show you guys all that we're here. We're really here and we're building. So yeah, again, thank you for joining. If you're a presenter or a judge, we're going to do a little bit of a debrief afterwards as well. So feel free to stick around. But otherwise, have a great rest of your Saturday, everyone.